It doesn't have to be super expensive. Hi, welcome back to my home studio. Today I want to talk about how to make good sounding audio without totally breaking the bank. There's a lot of stuff out there about which plugins you gotta buy and what gear you gotta buy and what synthesizer you gotta buy, and it's a bit much. Realistically, most musicians are doing it as a hobby. Not everybody has the resources to just spend thousands of dollars on music production tools. You can make pretty cool stuff with very little means, and I want to show you how. Hi, so I'm Vinny Debray. I'm a composer, I'm a songwriter, I'm a producer. I'm still learning and trying to get things to sound better all the time. I'm not here trying to claim that I'm the best producer that ever lived or an amazing sound engineer, but I mean, I do get paid to do this stuff sometimes, and I've been doing it for a very long time. So I just wanted to come in and pitch my little 2 cents to you. Let's go with a real example of music that I've made with very, very, very small means. This is my EP, which I released last year. I produced all of it in this bedroom. I did the entire recording here. I played all the tracks here. I mixed it here. Very, very little budget. The track sounds like this. You're a wild card. I made this entire album with only a SM58 microphone, which is basically the cheapest one out there. You can get this for almost nothing now. A Scarlett Focusrite interface, also one of the cheapest ones out there. It's at my jam space right now, so I can't show you, but here's what it looks like. And finally, this laptop. I didn't even use a MIDI controller. I just played every single line on the computer keyboard. By now, I've gotten used to it. It's very convenient. You can make music from anywhere. You don't have to lug another piece of gear with you. And honestly, I made this entire album entirely with a computer keyboard. And all the background music in this video, also computer keyboard. It's a good time. For the software, I used Logic Pro. Logic Pro is not free, but it is the cheapest of the, more high-end audio softwares. You can get a perpetual license for $200. But if you can't afford a MacBook and a $200 software, you can get Reaper, and I've seen people do amazing things on Reaper. It's completely free. You can use it on PC as well. All the sounds that I used in this album were completely free, came built into Logic. Every single audio software has built-in sounds, and if you know how to work with them, and you know what you're looking for, it can really be possible to make some nice sounding music with only the free stuff. So let me walk you through what the sounds that I used are. Intro, let's go. Cool. So the first thing that you hear is just a free synth from Logic. Reminisce Keys, it's called. Here's the settings if you want them. A tip I have when you're using free plugins is to layer them up, because what you're paying for when you buy an expensive virtual instrument is the convenience. So yeah, it sounds great right off the bat. That doesn't mean that you can't make a similar sound with free plugins if you really sit down and listen to the sound and figure out what is going on in there and how you could make it yourself. So the little sparkle, let's see. I layered up this alchemy sound called Fragile Thoughts, which by itself sounds like this. Cute. And then this crystal steel alchemy sound, which sounds like this. It's super, super subtle, but it adds something. And so together, they make that little bling. Same thing with the bass. I layered up 2 bass sounds, and I do this all the time because sometimes you have a really nice bass sound that you like, but it's too low. And it's not going to come through when people play your track on computer speakers or on their phone. So then I add a second bass sound, which is maybe more fuzzy and has more high frequency information, just to make it pop out. So here's the 808 bass alone. And here it is with the tight synth bass layered up on top of it. Okay, now I can hear it. Another thing is all the audio effects. Same deal, I just used the free Logic Pro effects. I just have the basic plugins on here, you know? I have some compressors, I have some EQ, delay, reverb, saturation, maybe a little tube amp here and there. Nothing crazy. My advice really is to keep it simple and to really work on every individual sound. There's not an automatic way to make it sound good, you just have to think about what you like. Okay, so next I want to talk about monitoring, because an important part of making good sounding music is being able to listen to it. It is very difficult to make a good sounding mix on headphones, so if you are gonna spend some money for your music, I would invest in some monitors, because that allows you to hear way more clearly what's going on in your track. I just got these for 300 bucks. 300 bucks you could spend on a single reverb plugin, so it is worth it. Even when you have speakers, the problem is your room. So obviously, this space, not good. This is my bedroom. I live here. I'm not going to cover the walls with acoustic paneling because it has to be a comfortable space for me to exist in as well. Unless you have access to a professional studio, your listening space is not going to be perfect. And making a good listening environment is a whole other topic. The real advice is this. One, you have to check your mixes on as many different systems as possible. So listen to them on your speakers if you have them. Listen to them on all your different types of headphones. Listen to them on your AirPods, on your phone, on your laptop, on your TV. If you have a car, go listen in your car. Each of these systems is going to show you something different about your mix that you might not have noticed. And together, they're going to bring all the information to you of what you need to fix, what's too high, what's too low. The second piece of advice I have is to keep it simple. If you don't have as many instruments playing in your track, it's going to be easier for them not to overlap and for you to make a good sounding mix. At the busiest, this track has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 16 channels going. It's a very small number of channels to deal with, and it makes it so much easier. Really, a lot of amazing artists have made amazing stuff with extremely little means. It is possible, and I don't think that not having expensive plugins or gear should be a barrier to you daring to create music. At the end of the day, you can actually have all of the high-end fancy equipment and not know how to use it, and your track is not going to sound good. Owning all of the stuff is not a guarantee, which is great because it means you don't have to buy all this stuff, but also terrible because it means now you have to get to work and actually learn how all of it works. The thing that I love the most about using limited means and free software is that you really get to explore the depths of what's available to you. The more you play with them, the more you're gonna learn what works for you, what you like. If you decide to upgrade, that's gonna inform your decision because you're already gonna know what you're missing. And the last piece of advice is to just not overthink it. I think that a piece of music that is genuine and comes from the heart is gonna be more effective and more touching than the most high-budget, overproduced song where they forgot to put the heart in it. So that's just my opinion on the matter. Use what you have. Use the tools at your disposal. Make something to the best of your ability, and if you're genuine about it, it's gonna work out. Mind focus. Yeah. Oh my god, there's a limiter in the middle of my signal chain. Do not look at me. Why?